Hey guys, this is Michael with the S&P 500 futures here, and this is a pretty exciting trading day. There were some patterns that continued to repeat throughout the day, which I think is kind of rare, but also kind of special. And so here we are into our first trade. It is a bullish long trade off of these green candlesticks, and this white line here is going to be our market open session. So right here is where the first bar formed as the day opened. And if you notice, it is coming away from the EMA. So that means that there was some strong overnight buying, and then that led to this gap up. But then we immediately went into this trading range. Prices started to go sideways, which is a little indecisive. But you will notice there is one small detail. We are making these higher highs and higher lows. So while there is congestion, there is a bullish sentiment to the day. And if you notice, this overnight buying is probably going to continue into this session. So when we get this trade at the EMA, I am going to look for a buy and hopefully have us come up and test the new highs, or we could even break out and start a strong bullish trend. Now, let's talk a little bit about this trade. First of all, it is a double bottom. Prices are testing this level twice, which is a pretty good entry in my book. Secondly, we have the massive red bearish candlestick. And you know that I love to take these as it traps a lot of traders who are a little overzealous trying to sell this signal. So you'll notice, the smart traders, they probably came in on this first red bearish candlestick, but then as it started to sell off, it got more violent as people started to stack on, hoping that this would cause a massive reversal, which there's a chance it could happen, but it's probably unlikely to happen. If we really take things into account, you have the EMA as support here, you have the lows of the day as support here, and this is a trading range, so you have the support of the lows of the trading range that are also blocking us. I don't think there's a good chance that you should be selling here and looking for a big move down. But if we look at our trade here, this is not looking that great. We bought here. I was hoping that this would blast off, but now we are starting to see some resistance on this lower high. It's pushing us a little lower, and it's a little uncomfortable to be in this trade. And yep, there we go. So we actually got stopped out of this trade. I had a protective stop below this double bottom. I was hoping that would hold and we could continue on higher, but we had to exit out of the trade. And, I think it's the safe move. I probably could have also considered having a stop here below the actual low of the day. That might be another good safe area to consider. But we exited out of the trade and we are actually coming back in for the trade one more time. And you know what they like to say? They always say that re-entry is just a commission away. So, we exit the trade, but we can always come back in when we get a better signal. And here we are seeing a beautiful bullish bar that is once again a double bottom. Notice these two price points are at the same level, and that is an entry I like to take. So, we failed on the first double bottom, and I thought that would be a good opportunity for us to continue higher. But unfortunately, the market wanted to make one more leg, which actually is giving us that two-legged pullback combo. Notice that we have leg one down from the high, comes up, and then we make that second leg down. That is the market making that two-legged pullback. And as you know, the market loves to move in pairs of two. So, we failed on the first attempt. Maybe it was a little aggressive. Maybe it was a little too early. And that can sometimes happen in trading. But that can't stop us from coming in and taking that second attempt. So we get that second double bottom. And now again, I am basically looking for the same thing to happen. I'm looking for us to at least test the highs here, or hopefully we can punch out higher and go for, a much bigger move here. But again, considering my trading plan, I'm not a big swing trader. It's something that I'm working on, but right now I like to take the quicker gains, the more high probability setups. And for us, that's looking at taking profits around resistance zones and then moving on and looking for other setups. So again, we'll look at this setup, two-legged pullback. I like that. We are coming in at a double bottom, lows of the day. That is where we're going to see support. We are also in a trading range, so it's going sideways. And with a trading range, we always want to be reverting to the mean. But remember, there was that really, really small detail that we are making these higher highs and higher lows. So in my mind, I feel like this trend will continue higher and should punch up. And then again, we had that overnight buying, which also should continue into the day, as you know, the buying is going to continue. People saw buying pressure overnight. The trend doesn't really want to stop. Why would it want to reverse all of a sudden? And we are also holding this EMA. So here we go. We are getting these bullish bars. We're continuing higher. And there we go. We're actually going to take profits as we come into this resistance. You know, maybe we could have taken a few more points as it came up and made a new high here. And then, you know, if I was more comfortable and wanted to swing trade this, I could also see us holding on to this and looking for it to shoot up higher and manage this trade for, you know, a pretty big run. You know, if you notice, this is consolidation. Let me kind of clean this up a bit. This is consolidation. And so that's going to create what I like to say is a lot of potential energy or kind of stored energy. And at some point when that breaks out, you know, it might come out in a pretty violent fashion. And we are moving on to our next trade here in the review mode. So on this side over here, you'll notice that we have our review chart that allows me to draw on it and give you guys a better explanation of my thought process. And then on the other side, you have the live recap so you can follow along as the trade progresses. So on the review chart here, we are looking at a buy signal right here on this small bullish candlestick. Pretty nice and sweet entry. And then before we get into the trade, I kind of want to talk about what's been going on in the market since our last trade. You'll remember that we were trading in the range down here. And yeah, it made this amazing breakout. And so, you know, one of the thoughts that comes to mind is, hey, that would have been really cool to hold on as a swing trade. But right now it's not in my trading plan. So it's not something that I'm going to consider, even though it looks amazing. And it's something, you know, you could look back on and be like, hey, I would have loved to have taken that trade. Well, if it's not in your trading plan, it simply means that you have to skip it for now, and maybe you can study it and include it later in the future. And then also there were a few trades after this. So we had the massive breakout. We started to go sideways, and I did notice that there was this double bottom down here. It really looked like a good trade. It looked like, you know, we have the trap traders, massive red candlesticks flying down. And then again, they try to sell on this second attempt to go lower. It fails on the precise double bottom, and then it starts to move up. I was kind of going back and forth. It didn't exactly fit with the setups that I have in my trading plan. So unfortunately, I have to skip it. But that means I can go back and review it and hopefully add it in so that I won't miss it the next time it comes around. And then there was also an entry that I kind of messed up on. It looked like it was something I wanted to take, and then I decided, hey, you know, it's not really fitting with the setups that I have. So I got out at around break even, or I think I had like a few ticks of profit on it. And that happens. You know, if you enter a trade and you don't think it's something that fits your plan, or it looks a little off, it's always okay to just get out break even. Move on. There can always be a better opportunity. All right. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the actual trade that we're in. Taking a quick look, it's looking pretty good. We've had some nice bullish candlesticks popping out. It came back, tested the EMA, and now it's bouncing off once again. Let's move the little spoiler wall over on the review chart. There we go. So we can see, yep, so it blasted off, gave us a good bounce. And now why do I like this trade? Well, we are moving into this consolidation, but again, the market has shown us that it is in buying mode. There is buying pressure. And so there are a lot of traders looking for opportunities to enter in with some longs. You'll notice, you know, they came in on this double bottom. And that's probably a key area that's allowing us to kind of lift off from that location. So you have the double bottom, and that's probably where a lot of the sellers gave up. And now the market is just gradually rising higher. You'll notice that there's even some type of, I think it looks like there's like a trend line here. Yeah. So there's a pretty good trend line here that's adding support as we get these higher lows and then these higher highs. So with that in mind, we want to be looking for the market to pull back to the support, and then we can buy off of this support. And as a target, we're looking for some of this resistance to be taken out. Either the easy resistance right here, or we can go for the biggest resistance, which would be the new high. And we've already taken off half of our profits here. I like to kind of partition things off if necessary. Taking risk off the table makes it easier for us to hold on to things longer. It's an easy way to kind of calm the mind. I think the biggest thing about trading is sustainability. And if we can allow our mind to stay strong longer, then to me, that's, it's better for trading. If I can stay in the market longer, I can hopefully find more opportunities. So we'll continue to look at this trade. It is progressing pretty well. And there we go. As we see, the market is slowly chugging along. Not at the pace that I would have loved it to go, but it is breaking out, and we get to take our profits here as we crunch out, make this new high, and then now we can think about moving on to the next trade. Remember, we have that peace of mind. We're out of the trade, and our mind is clear to think about what the next best opportunity would be. Okay, moving a little bit into the future, and after our trade was taken off here, there was a massive sell-off. And now we are back in our next bullish trade, which, as you notice, is yet again another double bottom, this was crazy to me. The amount of double bottoms that I have experienced in one trading day that were all at pretty good opportunities to buy. I think that's surprising. And I think that's one thing that I really love about trading is how unique it is and how creative some of the opportunities can look. Remember, we had that double bottom here, and then there's a double bottom here now that we're buying on. And then there were those double bottoms earlier in the morning that we were trading off of. And actually, we're already out of the trade. I was looking for us to hopefully take out some of the sellers and their early stop loss here. And actually, at the time of this trade, I also had thoughts that, hey, we're making a strong bounce here, and the trend is pretty strong. Maybe we could actually take out the highs as well. And, I think that would have been the best decision, but I already had my profit target in place. It already got tapped quickly. And by the time I thought of going for more profit, we had already been exited out of the trade. So, it kind of sucks that I couldn't hold on for longer, but at the end of the day, you can't really complain about profits. It's one rule that I've always taught myself is, hey, if you took profits, you probably did something well, move on and go to the next trade. Anyway, let's talk quickly about what's going on in this setup. One thing you should quickly notice is that it is very similar to the double bottom that happened earlier. You'll notice here, massive sell-off, right? People are jumping in. They're crazy. They're in a frenzy. They want to sell. They're like, hey, the market is reversing here. Let me board this train before it's too late. Comes back for the second attempt, which utterly fails. People are disappointed, and then the bullish traders come in and they start to trap them. Same thing is happening here. You have this rush of traders, massive volatility, big red bars sliding down, and then you have this second attempt. And then if you notice here, quickly reverses on this beautiful green bullish candlestick, perfect double bottom, great entry for us to come in on. And then again, we take out those early stops that are right here above this swing high. And then, yes, unfortunately, there is a much better target I should have gone for. Didn't go for it, or didn't realize it until my target had already been hit. But hey, that's okay. Can't complain about a win, and I will study that and hopefully be able to hit it better next time. And that's going to do it for this trading video. There's really never a dull moment in the markets, especially with today. There were tons of double bottoms, which I thought was pretty special. So hopefully you're able to identify these double bottoms on your own. Good luck out there and happy trading.